Long time ago, what made me to be a storyteller, what made me to be what I am today, is that we had parents who allowed us to do whatever we wanted to do, and it made us to know what to do and how to do it right. And we never messed up with our lives. We were free to choose what to do, but at the same time, we were taught. And dad used to give us a lot of stories, mom used to give us a lot of stories, and they used to give us with example. So our mother and dad used to teach us a lot of things. And especially dad loved me so much because I was the last born son to him. And he used to like kind of give me everything that belonged to him. So during that time, I remember one word that mom told me those times before they died, because they all died. My mom died when I was 14 and my dad died when I was 19. But at that time, I learned a lot from them. And my mom told me this, that you see, John, right now, we are really struggling to make ends meet. And I can see your future to be a brighter future. But I want you to understand this, that at one point in time, you will lose people who are with you. People will leave you, and you don't know when they will leave. At one point in time, the people who are closer to you right now, you're going to lose them. They're going to leave. If it is your baby, maybe you leave before them. If you die before them, you have lost them. Maybe it is your mother, maybe it is your boyfriend, maybe it is your girlfriend, maybe it is the people, the colleagues you are in at workplace. At one point in time, you're going to lose these people. So what is important as a human being to learn in life? You have to learn to put yourself at a position where you don't depend on people. Guys, I see a lot of people telling me sorry because I lost my parents. You see, if you've never watched a video, is on my YouTube about my mom. And, when I started this video, I said that, something that I always thank God for is taking my mom when I was 14. And I don't always feel sorry for my mom dying when I was 14, because it taught me a lot of things and it made me the person that I am today. Because with my mom used to do for us everything, so we were so lazy. But when she died, I realized, and in fact, what I'm talking about here, I will give her as an example. And this will make you understand that, you see, don't make other people be your point of breath. Don't depend on people so much that when they are not there, you lose hope. When they are not there, you feel empty. When they are not there, you feel that there's something missing. You see, in as much as you are loving somebody, and especially those people who love so much, in as much as you are in love with somebody, don't make them your breath. Don't make them the people who, without them, you can't sleep. I've heard this. When we were in high school, we used to write letters that, without you, I can't eat. Without you, I can't sleep. I have to read from you. I have to listen to you for me to eat. I have to read you or listen to you for me to sleep. But did it really happen? Some people used to say this, but at the same time, they slept, they snore, they fart, they turned, they dreamed, but then they wake up in the morning and they tell you, without you, I can't sleep. So you see, the most important part of life, if you want to live a peaceful life, you want to live a life of a purpose, you must understand that you don't need people so much than you are thinking. I think you are an intelligent guy and the future looks bright for you too. Thank you so much, Joe and Galbon. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. I really, really appreciate it. You see, guys, people are so important in our lives. But when you are living your life because of people, you are missing on your purpose. I taught about purpose the other time. I taught about purpose. And your purpose will only be materialized when you get to understand that you have yourself here to attend to. You have yourself to give self-love. You have yourself to protect from any kind of a damage that is coming from outside. Be it alcohol. Drinking alcohol is not bad, but if it is harming yourself, you have to protect yourself against it. Be it sex. Sex is not bad, But if it is taking yourself, it's taking you like you can't do without sex, it means that it has become something that is going to interfere with your life. You've got to get it out of your mind. Be it money. Money is very important. But if your life can't be without money, then you have got to change. You have got to think again. But most importantly, if there is somebody in your life that you're thinking that without these people, I can't make it. I've had girlfriends who tell me that, without you, I could have not done this. Without you, I think I would not have been here. When you're having that feeling at this moment and juncture, if you're still having that feeling in your mind, in your heart, in your brain, there is something that you're missing. And what you're missing is yourself. You have placed yourself at a certain position where you can't learn, you can't trust yourself, you can't believe in yourself. The self-confidence is gone. You don't have courage to lift yourself up. You don't have courage to get into the field and search for whatever you're supposed to be having. But sometimes you need people in your life. You need people to tell you how to do things. You need people to motivate you like I'm doing right now. You need people to remind you of something. But let me tell you this. If at all you can't do without my motivations, for example, a day can't go without my motivations. If you sleep or a day passes without my motivations and you don't feel you're okay, you feel empty, you have a problem. Because if tomorrow I close my TikTok, for example, what's going to happen? You are dead. My motivations should be a part of a supplementary ingredient of what makes you happy in a day. When you watch my videos, they should be something that is inspiring you. It's motivating you to do what you are already doing. It should not be the fulcrum of whatever you are doing every single day. It should not be what wakes you up. You should wake up. But then after waking up, you should watch my motivations and feel that, with the energy I woke up with, Johngora has added me something with his motivations to do my day. This is what happens. You see, anything that you found that is not part of you. For example, you get a job, you make money. It should not define you. You go outside there, you get a very beautiful woman as a girlfriend or as a wife. It should not define you. You work so hard, you buy a very expensive car, a very expensive shoes, a very expensive closet, a very expensive house. You build an apartment, you build a home, very expensive home. It should never define you. Because if it defines you, there's a time you never know. Flood might come and sweep it away. Somebody might just decide to bomb it and do it away. The government can say that you built on road or maybe road reserves and all that, and they bring your house down. Are you gonna die? Things are very cheap here to buy, like food and clothes. All right. So what I'm saying is, in as much as you're trying to get comfort from other things that is not yourself, don't attach yourself so much to them. I was telling you a story about my mom and myself. And my mom told me these stories. And my mom, I guess those times, mom knew that she could die early when we were still young. So she used to give us words of motivations, words of encouragement, that made us strong, to believe that we can do everything that we want to do, to believe that whenever we put our hands in anything, God blesses it and it materializes. So mom told me that, John, I want you to remember that the people that you see around here today, at one point, they will no longer be there. They will live your life. Even myself, one day I will not be here for you. So don't think that without me you cannot survive. Start thinking beyond having me as your mother. Start thinking beyond having your sister, your brothers as your family. Start thinking beyond having your father as your dad. And think about making new relationships, forming new families, finding new friends, making new people to call your father. Mom taught me to call every woman that come to our home that was above our age, mother. When you go, when you come to my family, when you come to my home, and we see our aunties, we see friends of our mothers, we call them mom. I call all my teachers. Even if you go to my Facebook account, you see all the teachers, the teachers that taught me in school, the female teachers that taught me in school, they're all my moms. I call them mom, and they call me son. Because this is something that my mom taught me. My mom taught me that at one point, I will no longer be there. And if you are calling only me mom, you will never have a mom in your life. My mom told me, this is your dad. And if you only believe that this is your dad and you're only calling him dad, one day you will not have dad. These are your sisters, and this is your sister, and these are your brothers. If you only think that they are your sisters, she's your only sister, and they are your only brother, and you stick to them, I'm telling you, one day they will not be there, and you will lack brothers. I started making mothers. Any woman who came home became my mom. Any friend that I used to play with became my brother. Any woman, lady that I met, my age mate, became my sister. My mom brought in ladies, I will call them girls, because we lived with some girls that were not our children. Mom used to go to these church functions and then gets a lady who maybe is not so much well off and has a daughter or maybe has a son, and she thinks that, oh, I can help them to do something. And she will just bring a lady to her home, and then she will tell us that from today, this is your sister. Okay? And then now we learned from it to call everybody that we met a sister or a brother. And this has always made me to see everybody as a sister and a brother. This has always made me to see my mom, even though she died when I was 14 years. I still feel I have mothers around. I still feel my mom lives in every woman that I see around. When I lost my dad when I was 19 years, let me go first to when I lost my mom. So I was doing my exams, and then my mom died, and I found this message information. After my paper, I went outside and I saw my brother, and I was like, why my brother came to school this time and he never comes to school? So I got the message that mom had slept, and it took me away because it was something that I was not expecting. Even though mom used to tell us that, even when I die, you still have your auntie, he's your mom. You still have so-and-so, she's your mom. So they were all my mothers. But this message really shook my heart. I cried the whole day. I went home, I cried. I could not, wait to see the body of my mom being brought home so that it could be buried. It took me time to go to the coffin and look at my mom laying there still and, knowing that she will never wake up again. But there was something still strong in me at 14 because I knew that all these people who are seated here, they are my mothers. I was losing one mother who gave birth to me, but she left me with mothers all over. There are so many mothers around. So this kept me going. It kept me understanding that, yes, even though she's gone, she's left other mothers here to take care of me. So the message that I'm giving you today is like, don't put all your trust, all your belief, all your strength, all your power, all your dependency on one person. Be it your mother, be it your boyfriend, be it your girlfriend, be it your husband, let them not be the power of you being alive today. You have only God and yourself. You have to start learning the way my mother taught me. Let me teach you today to understand that you have to give it to yourself. You have the power. The power is in you to stand with or without these people. The power is in you to stand as a wife without your husband. The power is in you to stand as a child without the parents. When I lost mom at 14, I cried. I went all around crying. I could not even sit. I could not eat. I thought the life is ending because I was looking around. My mom was the sole provider in the family because she's the one doing business. And, my dad had retired and was already all tired, was not working. So I thought that the only thing that I now have is death. I should die and be buried with my mom. But you know, the power that she brought in my life, and the strength and the Christianity way of brought up, and you know, the word that I used to get from the church kept me going. So I looked at mom laying there still, can't breathe, and I knew, yeah, she's gone. She will never be back again. I cried. I thought the life was ending. But then, after burying mom and life started shaping up, I can tell you here, I came to realize that that was the most important part of my life. Losing my mother was the best thing that I've ever had in my life. Not on the negative way that I hated my mother, not in the negative way that my mother hated me, not that she never used to give us everything. Mom used to give us everything, from water to dresses to everything. But how did I come to learn that this was the best thing in my life? I came to realize that I could live without my mom. I came to realize that I didn't need anyone to buy a shoe. I didn't need anyone to buy water for myself. I didn't need anyone to get food. At 14, I knew how to go and get. Whether I went to borrow from somebody, whether I went to my aunties to ask, you know, aunt, I don't have this, I needed this, what can I do so that I get this? Whether I went outside there to work in what we call mjengo. You go and try mjengo. It's so hard for me. I've never done it before. I try, I can't do throughout the day. I do it half day. They pay me half. And I go buy whatever I could buy. It built me to know how to get. It built me to know how to make friends that open ways for people. Because I was with my mom, I never used to make friends. I never used to look for people, you know, who could tell me how things are done. So mom was not there. I had myself. I had to go and find new family. Mom told me that, you know what, John, after I die, maybe the people you are thinking and your family might not be your family. You might have to look for other family. That's what I did. I found new family. I found new friends. I found new mothers. I found so many people who taught me even more than what mom used to teach me. So when my dad started becoming weak after I did my high school in very terrible situation, sometimes staying home 2 months without going to school because there's no school fees, but because I was disciplined, because I give it to my mother for bringing me up disciplined, a boy. The teacher could just call me. They could just say, no, let that boy come back to school, even without school fees. So I went to school, struggling, sometimes trying to talk to my uncles, trying to talk to my family friends, those who knew me. I performed well. I take my report card, I take to them. I told them I was home for 2 months. I never went to school. I went back just for 2 weeks and there was exam. And this is how I performed. So they looked at my performance. They say, yeah, you're really doing good. You should be in school. So I got these school fees paid. I did some small job. I got money. I take it to school. I pay my school fees. It made me strong. I'm telling you, it was the best thing. That's where I started getting strong. And today I do get back and I tell God that, God, if my mom was alive throughout my high school, maybe I would have been a very arrogant boy. If my mom was alive when I was going through high school, maybe I could have not been this guy that I am today. Guys, my message to you today is, don't think that this person who is there, who is providing for you today, you can never do without them. You see, when you take your life and you put it in other people's hands, you are dead. Sometimes you could be walking, driving a car that is not yours, driving your father's car, driving your boyfriend's car, driving your girlfriend's car, driving your friend's car and enjoying life and thinking that you have a high life. You don't have it. Until you will realize that it is better I walk on my foot, but I'm doing it by myself. I'm comfortable. Until you realize that I am cycling my own bike that I bought, even though it is hot and my friends are passing me, in a Mercedes-Benz, sorry. They are passing me in a Range Rover. They're passing him in a BMW, but it is their own car. It is not mine. I have a bicycle and I'm cycling it. Until you realize that that is what you need, you are still dead. We call it walking dead. You are walking, yet you are dead. So you need to get yourself. So I am telling you guys that unless you realize all these things, you will never understand yourself. So mom died. I went to school. There was no school fees because mom was the sole provider. She was doing business and, doing for us everything, buying for us everything. Dad was already retired and had no money. So it was tough. It was hard, but I went through it. I became a school prefect, class prefect. In the second year, I became assistant school prefect, head prefect. Third year, I became the head prefect. And becoming a head prefect, I was told to come to school whether I have school fees or not. So you see how God works miracle. The first year I was struggling. I cannot get school fees. The students elected me a class prefect. I grew through it. I became assistant head prefect. Third year, I became the head prefect, which gave me a space and a way to stay in school even without the school fees. So now, God tells me that, John, you've gotten this, so you've got to work hard and perform because now you have time in school. I got to grind books. Then I did my high school, and immediately after high school, the following years, things are tough. You can't go to college. Still, you don't have money. I started working, doing some jobs, and it's motivated me again to just pay my school fees and go through college. Even though I never stepped in class, doing all these things online because I can't afford to go to class. But you have to be strong. You have to be hard. My dad died. I was already 19. And just a year after high school, things are tough. My dad is sleeping there still. And that time, I'm just smiling. I'm looking at my dad and I'm smiling. I'm telling him, boy, go in peace, man. I'll miss you, my brother. My dad was like my brother. We used to sit and chat, and he used to play guitar, sing me songs that, my dad used even to tell me how he got my mom, how he seduced my mom, how my mom was tough, how he had to use another person. Sometimes he sneaks from, a lot of these things. And that is what made me. And I do tell parents that, you see, if you don't teach your kids about sex, you don't teach your kid about relationships, you don't teach them how to go get a man, how to go get a woman, they will end up getting the wrong people. But when you sit with them down and you tell them even how your husband seduced you, you're telling to your children, it's really helped them. My dad helped me by that because it gave me courage. It gave me a lot of, self-confidence. It made me understand that when you approach a woman at the first time and the woman rejects you, you should not look down upon yourself. You should try again. It made me realize that, women have to be given time if you want them to be yours. Because he used to tell me how he did it. So when I saw him lying there still and dead and dry and I would never see him again, I smiled. I never cried. I smiled. I told him, bye, my brother, my father, my friend. You've been here for me. We've always shared a lot of time. I used to, we used to touch his beard as he sings with my sister. And it was just a good communication and a good attachment between me and my parents, especially my dad, because mom died when I was 14. So I stayed with dad until I was 19. A little bit I knew so much, and he knew so much. He knew even my girlfriends. And dad was that guy who will tell you, John, I saw you with a certain lady. Could she be the one you're dating? Then I will be like, no, dad. She's just a friend. She'll be like, John, look at me straight in my eyes. Is she your girlfriend? And I will be, yes, dad, she is. All right. From where? Where is she from? Blah, 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 blah. And then, we'll have those stories. And then dad will be telling you that, in as much as you are trying to be with the girlfriends, remember, if you're ready to be a parent, then go deep into what you want to do, because I know what you are planning to do with them. So, he never told you, I don't want to see you with women. I don't want you to have a girlfriend. What he would tell you is you have to be careful with what you do with these people. So, I was strong at that time. Dad went, And it taught me the lesson that my mom taught me, that you see people who are around you today, at one point in time, they will never be there with you. So it taught me a lesson not to depend on people, not to put all my things, my mind, my feelings, my heart, into people. You have to give people a part and a space in your life, but let them not consume your life. Let them not overpower you. Let the strength of people not take away your strength. That's why a lot of people today are that I'm heartbroken, I don't want to love anymore. Love ain't working for me. Things not working. I don't trust love anymore. There's no love. There is love. But instead of people taking care of love, people are thinking that the people they are within a relationship, without them they can't breathe. Man and woman, I want to tell you, you can never stop breathing because somebody left you. Unless you take something like poison to kill yourself. You will never die because a woman left you. You will never die because a man left you. Unless you don't know how to control yourself. And that is the reason why I'm here. To help you know how to control yourself, so that when a man decides to leave you, it should be okay. To help you understand how to control yourself, so that when a woman leaves you, it should be okay. You see, we should not feel like, what did I do? Why did he leave? Am I okay? Am I not good enough? Why did he choose to go for that woman? What did he see in this woman that I don't have? When you start asking yourself such questions, you're missing it. You're dead. You're living, but you're dead. You should put yourself in a place where when somebody leaves, you are okay. Somebody is saying, but men are heartless nowadays, John. Suzanne Chepkirui, I want you to remove this thing from your mind that men are. Suzanne Chepkirui, I want to ask you a simple question. How many men have you met in your life? You might have, spent life with one or two men. You might have heard about 2-3 men, but you've never heard about 6 billion men that are still available for you. You see, there's nothing like men nowadays or women nowadays. It is we, me nowadays. Start from yourself. Start from telling yourself, me nowadays, I see men like this. Me nowadays, I see women like this. When you start from yourself, it means that you are developing yourself to understand that it is you who can permit a man to mistreat you. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I was teaching here the previous days and I said this, that you see, you can make a man to become a dog and mistreat other women. By being a weaker woman, you become a weak woman who is being mistreated by a man, and you stay there because you fear to be laughed at, or you fear to be looked down upon. So you stay with this man who is really beating you up, mistreating you, doesn't respect you, and you're just there because you're married, because he paid dowry, because if you leave, it is maybe religion doesn't allow you to leave, and etc. etc. You know what happens? This man will damage you, will press you to the wall, and then kick you out of his house. And outside there, you have made a man to become a beast. When he's going to meet another woman, he will mistreat him because you laid that foundation. But when you are a woman and you realize that a man is mistreating you, you take a break. You leave him for some time. You go back to your home. You go to your friend's house, maybe somewhere. You travel. You give them space so that they can realize that you are a greater part of his life. There's a space you have created in his life. There's what we call a vacuum. They start to feel like they need you back. But you see, we have glued our asses in these homes. We have glued ourselves in these places. We are being misused. We are being beaten. But when we wake up in the morning, because we are women, we are strong, we want to make everybody happy. Somebody is asking you, what happened to your cheeks? Then, no, yesterday, I was just walking and then I fell down and I bruised my cheek. And it is a slap from a man. Women, it is a slap from a man. And you're like, yesterday when I was just walking, I fell down and I bruised myself. You are creating a beast of a man out of that man. There is no man that is born with a bad heart or a lion or an animal heart. We create them. The same thing. There's no woman that is born a bad woman. There's no people are born kind. We teach people to hate others. We teach people to become unkind. As a mother, how do you treat others? Your kids are watching. That's where they learn to be unkind. As a teacher, how do you handle students in class? This is what is teaching people to be unkind. Sometimes you cane people thoroughly in class as a teacher. You give corporal punishment. This is going to harden the hearts of these kids to feel like, okay, caning people is okay. Giving corporal punishment is okay, it's fine. They get a wife does a mistake, they beat them. When you ask them, why are you beating people? You ask them, why are you beating people? Do you know what they say? Because they did a mistake. And teachers taught us that when you do a mistake, you have to be punished. So Suzanne is saying, I'm suffering now because of mistreatment, John. Suzanne, this is what I'm talking about right now. I'm saying that we have to realize that some people will at one point in time leave us. However much we try to be in their lives, they will leave us. So if you're suffering right now, you are being mistreated by a man, I never tell people like you have to divorce a man because he's mistreating you. You have to leave a man because he's mistreating you. You have to give them space. Be in a position. That's why I told women, allow me to sip a juice, please. Let me sip a juice so that I don't dry my tongue. That's why I told you guys, before you get into a relationship, build yourself to a capacity that you can buy everything that a man can buy you. Build yourself into a capacity that, Molly wants to join. Molly, yeah, I'm going to give you a chance to join. Let me just check. I think you can